Into your conversational radio 95.1 Nigeria info, and welcome to the midweek special of Hard Facts. But first off, how's your day going though? Productive, awesome, amazing, or just one of those days you can wait to end already? Or whatever. I just hope you're having a fine, fantastic day. 7 minutes after 3, welcome to Hard Facts with yours truly, Kimberly. Wachuku, call me Kim, the Oracle, the Digital Oracle, OTF, the fellow, Madam Speaker, Chanyawan, and I will say yes, yes, yes to them all. Excited to be here with you, and I'll be here till 7ish, and I'm sure we're confident that we're going to have a fabulous conversation together. Being a midweek special, I've got a very special guest, Dr. Majeed. Yes, he's around. Talk where he's around. Majeed Dahiru is a researcher, is a columnist, and the tech team lead of Luxterra Leadership Foundation. We'll usually get 90 minutes of chit-chat with him, looking at some key pressing national issues. Dr. Majeed, it's a delight to have you in the studio.
It's good to be here.
Always a delight to have you.
Thank you very much. And good afternoon to our listeners.
Good afternoon. Hope you didn't have to challenge anyone to a fight. Like, meet me in the corner and I'll show you what I'm capable of. Apparently, Oshomole, a senator representing Edo North, challenged a Rice TV anchor and former presidential spokesman Ruben Abati to a street fight over what he described as disrespectful and mischievous comments made on live television. So Oshomole is having none of it. As I was particularly shocked that a senior editor will ask the immediate past governor of Delta State Okowa mischievously, I must say, with all due respect, did you get permission from Oshomole that your sins will now be forgiven before he decided to come to APC? Though he did not name Abati directly, Oshomole's point reference made was what was made by Ruben Abati. Now, how can you ask that? What is my status? I'm in the legislature. Is the legislature responsible for the prosecution of anyone wrong in any way? Oshomole asked. But Oshomole was the one who said, if you come to APC, your sins are forgiven. So it was a very valid question to ask Oshomole, like, I hope you got clearance that your sins are forgiven for you. Because EFCC has a case on you. The minute immunity was lifted, we were told, was it 3 trillion? You have to answer it. But now that you've moved to another party, is your sin forgiven or not? So it sounds very mischievous, though. But Oshomole says, I will meet you in the corner. We'll slug.
And Oshomole, he goes to the gym, so I don't know what that about.
Oh yeah, I think I saw a video some time back where he was showing us what he's got.
I don't know what that about is as fit as Oshomole.
Dr. Abati, watch your back.
Avoid these swollen faces and broken ankles.
Oh boy, Nigeria always full of drama. There's always something to just entertain in this country. All right, talking about entertainment, I know last week there was so much we talked about, and there's just a build-up to some of it. Some of them we're going to just maybe not dwell so much of it, because if you've not built on it, like for example, PDP and the Saraki's panel mobilizing PDP bigwigs against defection, reconciliation panel and all of that to see how they can address, the leakage within the party. We haven't seen a clear move on what he intends to do. So I think we'll just be going ahead of ourselves to say if it's going to work or not. But the People's Democratic Party serving and former governor reconciliation committee led by former Senate President Bukola Saraki had a meeting with members of the party's National Working Committee Monday, I beg your pardon, to address the recent wave of defection. The issue of the National Secretary and other issues were also raised. And it's revealed that the meeting, which included quite a number of the party members, they were present, and they really looked at some of the issues they're contending with and how to resolve them. So this is just the starting phase of it, to saying, okay, you had a meeting, there's a need for reconciliation within the party. And then a lot of people are saying, if this committee fails to address the problem within the party, then your prophecy will just come to pass, like PDP is gone. Some people are saying 2025. Suswam said 2027. Everybody's giving a rough estimate of when they are gone will finally happen. But it's a slippery slope apparently for the party, and it feels like they're going down pretty fast at this point in time. Do you have any confidence in this reconciliation committee?
Absolutely not.
Oh dear. Boy, oh boy. But because, the meeting they had, Wike even attended some of the former governors' meeting, and it just feels like, all right, we can still see eyeball to eyeball talking about this one. But, well, it depends on the strategy Saraki is going to employ in addressing it. I don't know what he has up his sleeves at this point in time. But if you don't think he's going to work, well, Well, let's see if he's got some magic trick he's going to pull at this point in time.
It's too late.
Too late.
It's too late. It won't work. They are deceiving themselves. They should have done this immediately after the elections. Immediately after. Again, at the risk of sounding like a broken record, we know the reason for the problems in PDP. I'm sure everybody's aware now.
Yeah.
So they should have done this as early as after the election. But even at that, there are some problems that easily cannot be solved, and it's like a chain reaction. Once you trigger it, once you set it off, it will run its full course. So what's happening in PDP is a matter of cause and then effect. So what caused the problem, and then the after effect, the aftershocks. You see, I don't know. Sometimes you wonder what is wrong with PDP. I think I know.
Yeah, sometimes you ask if you were to come in and they were to pay. I know you will not give all the detail of the advice you're going to give them to say, PDP, 1, 2, 3, act on it or you are imploding like faster than immediately. Maybe one bit of.
Okay, a bit at this point.
Yeah, it's too late.
It's too late.
Oh, wow.
I mean, there are some cases you take to hospital, they will tell you this one. It's dead on arrival. That's not solution to PDP's problem.
Oh boy.
You see, let me tell you why. Let's go down memory lane. Just down here to 2015. So in the aftermath of the 2015 election, a committee was set up. That committee was chaired by Senator Eke Ekweremadu. The committee was tasked with the possibility of discovering or finding out why did we lose the election and what is the way forward. How do we reform? It was called a reform and blah, blah, blah. And that committee was set up under the chairmanship of, I think, Bala Mohammed, the governor Bauchi, this current governor Bauchi.
Yeah.
And the two committees came up with one thing that was common between the two, and that was the fact that the PDP lost the 2015 election primarily because they jettisoned zoning and fielded a southern candidate in the person of President Goodluck Jonathan. That they should have fielded a northern candidate at the time. That was a major cause of the electoral defeat. And that beyond that, they brought up a lot of other recommendations, particularly about how to make the party more democratic, clean up its internal processes, and return the structure back to the people. There are lots of other recommendations. The PDP didn't follow any of those recommendations, but they followed one. They accepted one and implemented it fully. The one on zoning. Because it was clear. It was really clear that indeed, if the Northern had been fielded in 2015, then the Buhari effect in the North would have been checked and checkmated and, So what did the PDP do? As early as 2017, PDP pronounced clearly. Now look, 2019, the ticket of the PDP is going to the North. It was a clear pronouncement. And we have learned our lessons, and so we're going to feed the Northern now. That was what enabled the return of those who left this PDP because of the same reason in 2015. Leading the pack then was Atiku Abubakar, Nigeria's former vice president. Tambua followed suit. Many people, Saraki himself decamped. Dogara too decamped. If you know Dogara's activities before 2015, you understand what I'm saying. He was in the PDP, he decamped to the APC then and worked for the election of President Buhari.
Buhari, yeah.
So most of them that left, actually, they found their way back to the PDP. PDP was now re-energized, was reinvigorated. And in the convention at Port Harcourt to produce a candidate for 2019 election, it was an all-northern affair. No southern had picked the form for the presidential race, not one. Again, this was simply a recommendation by a committee that was set up to find out what has happened to us. The PDP didn't have to set up a zoning committee, or no. And everybody from across the north, from the northeast, you had people like Dan Kwambo contesting. North Central, you had the likes of Senator David Mark from Benue, who was in the race. From the northwest, you had people like, of course, Tambuwal, Sule Lamido, and Atiku from the northeast. And at the end of the Atiku won, free and square. And the entire southern flank of the PDP gave massive support to Atiku. Atiku got more support in the south than he got from the northeast and the northwest. Atiku Abubakar lost his polling, lost his ward, lost the government in that election in Adamawa 2019. but he cleared state. I mean, he defeated, he crushed Buhari in the southeast completely. Mesmerized him in the south. So you should understand the kind of support that he was giving. In 2023, when it was time to allow this same base that has sustained this party since it lost in 2015 to have a slot, to have a shot at the presidency, you came in and took it. Now, why am I making this background? Because for people to think that I've said it over and over and again now, I should spare Atiku. No. Unlike Jonathan, who similarly realized that, wait a minute, after deep reflection, I think I actually complicated issues for my party. And you saw a tactical retreat by Jonathan. He retreated. He withdrew sort of into his shell and allowed the party to go on a journey of self-discovery. Right? Jonathan was powerful enough as a sitting president to have asserted his right to continue to dominate the party going forward. He could have also done that, but no. He allowed the party to do a self-rediscovery of some sort, which resulted into, we shouldn't have given to the south, like, we should take it to the north now. And everything happened, and the PDP gave a very strong showing in 2019. Very strong. PDP was intact. There was no talk about party state because PDP gave, the APC a strong contest for the presidency. Atiku's ambition has cost the PDP this problem. No matter how his supporters try to twist it, no matter how they try to argue with this, no matter how they try to, to spin this matter, it falls flat in the face of logic. Your ambition cost this. Instead of Atiku to have done what Jonathan did, as soon as he realized that, if I had not contested this election, PDP may not have also won the election. That's not in doubt. Like, let me make this caveat. In the build-up to that election, I said PDP cannot win the election.
The 2023 election.
No. Therefore, PDP is about survival. How do you survive as a party? You've been out of power for 8 years. How do you survive going forward? And that, head or tail, the APC will win. I mean, but as APC is winning, and you are losing, don't lose your base, so that you can hold on to that base as it is now.
Dr. Majeed, so you're saying, given where we stand at the moment, for the PDP, I mean, it's too late to fix anything
Atiku,
from the
if you allow me land, Atiku is still hovering around without showing a sign of retreat into his cocoon to allow the PDP to have a self-discovery. Not just Atiku, a lot of the northern branch of the PDP, including Saraki himself, have not come out clear to say, if the PDP stands any chance of recovery, at least to require your base before 2027, is to make a clear stand now on Southern presidency, going to that election, to say, look, we've realized our mistake too. Admit it and say, they did not. They waited for almost 2 years until governors have made up their mind, struck deals with their brother, who is president.
But
their brother is president. And PDP is largely supported by the South and the Christian North. There are only 2 Northern Muslim governors on the platform of the PDP, Bauchi and Zamfara. So Taraba, for instance, the rest of most of the South, 1 or 2, I think, in the Southeast, and of course Southwest, are PDP.
No, but even if the PDP decide to go south for the 2027 election, it's also still going to put them in a corner because people are going to say, we already got someone just in case the person wins, quote unquote. You already got President Bola Ahmed Tinubu 4 years from the southern parts of the country. What's the guarantee that you're going to do one term and then the pendulum shifts to the other side? That
move towards retention of the ticket in the south now would have created for Nigerian people an alternative between, 2 southerners, who do we now prefer? Okay, if you prefer this other one, is he going to agree to do one term? These positions can now start in earnest. Whether that person wins or not, the PDP would actually be, it would be reinvigorated to come back to give a challenge to the current administration. So the PDP again might not win because maybe they not to feel, let's just stick with 4 years old, so that we know that after 4 years our turn. But the PDP would have been revised substantially. Especially they get a candidate that is very good by way of alternatives. The PDP would have been revived again as a viable alternative.
Yeah.
Now by 2027, instead of violating zoning now, they will now feed the right candidate from the right part of the country and now give the ruling party a run for their money. As it stands, the PDP Northern Wing have not even admitted their mistake. They have not repented from that sin they committed. They are still grandstanding. They are still fighting with their imaginary enemies from the south over the soul of the party. And let me tell you, what you have seen now is this. Across the south, Tinubu is consolidating fast. Because of this uncertainty on the platform of the PDP. That uncertainty. So the Southerners are consolidating around one of their own in APC. So the gale of vision you see, or the solidarity you see, from the at least at the elite level, is towards President Tinubu. And guess what? That is concurrently strengthening Tinubu's structure in the north. So you're not seeing defection into the APC in the north. Because they say that the south is largely united around their own. At the elite level, not at the Talaka level like me and you, that is complaining of fuel subsidy. And no, that's a different ball game. I'm saying, at least at the elite level, you are seeing that, okay, from the southeast or the south-south, there is a convergence of interest, consensus, around one of them who is president. And the north has seen that the message clearly. So among the allies of the north too, more and more people are beginning to have a rethink about even that so-called coalition. So during the week, 3 senators from Kirby
defected, yeah.
Those who deprive the president absolute win in Kirby have joined this camp. So Kirby already in the kitty for him. You're going to see more of such decamping and realignment, because the South have shown clear that we're not going to compromise presidency. Even those who attempted to be running mates in the last election came out and tell that we regret that action. That when we started the campaign, we realized that people didn't want to see the presidency to the north after 8 years. So the PDP that is supposed to again somehow, just to say what is left of the PDP, make this adjustment quickly and see if it can rally around the candidate that can regain confidence of the ordinary Holoi Polo. Because what I'm saying now, there's a divide though, establishment on one side. The Tinubu has conquered the establishment, so to say, through charm offensive. But the Holoi Polo remains. The people like us at Atalak ones, we are on one side, hoping to see who can come and give us succor, right? Now the question is, the PDP should take advantage of that quickly to front the southern candidate that appears to have that appeal to the masses. They're not even, they are still confused in the state of flux. And so it's a hopeless situation.
Wow.
Let me emphasize, hopeless. Hopelessly hopeless for the PDP.
All right, well, I know a lot of people who that doesn't sit well with them, and quite a number of people have said, how is Dr. Majeed too harsh on the PDP? We need a right to reply. Like, you have a right to reply every single day. Well, let's go on a quick break, and when we return, we'll say a legislation to rotate presidency, governorship. Would it fix some of these concerns about what region the presidency or the governorship should go to at a given point in time? We'll take a look at that after a while.
At your number one talk, news and sports station. This is Nigeria Info.
Hello, my name is Kimberly. I'm the host of Hard Facts, and I bring you the biggest stories driving conversation every weekday here on 95.1 Nigeria Info Hard Fact Show. I love to get your opinion and conjectures, but the facts you cannot dispute here on Hard Facts. Join me and let's talk. Kind of like throughout a bill that was, proposing an amendment of the Constitution where it will be provided for zoning. The president, the vice president, and even trickle down to governors and all of that, where the 6 geopolitical zone, it will go around 6 geopolitical zone, then end, according to the proponent and the sponsors of the way, it will end after it has gone, the power has gone around the 6 geopolitical zone. And then at the state level also, it will go around the 3 senatorial districts, just to give that bit of inclusivity, nationhood, to saying, okay, every geo zone in the country, you've held power. Let's see what you can do or what you've done in the country. But the rep members didn't think it was going to help the situation. There were a lot of concern that it might aggravate, might worsen, and even bring smaller issues even within state at this point in time. It's not to get all thrown out. It's something they might revisit. But, I got the opinions of Nigerians, and it was quite diverse. There were a lot of people who felt this is not what we need right now. And there are people who say we absolutely need that, because some regions of the country have never been privileged, either due to their numbers or the political structure that we have, to govern Nigeria. I'm a little curious as to what your opinion is on a bill to legislate.
It won't help us Even the one we're talking about now, it didn't help anybody. But we're not saying...
No, but if there's a clear-cut provision in our law that says, okay,
it won't help
after
anybody.
this year, it goes to northwest or
it won't help anybody. You see, Constitution has said it clearly that the constitution of any arm of government, any organ of government should be inclusive, should be, shouldn't be dominated by blah, blah, blah. We all know. Ordinarily, what you need in a country is the principles of equity, fairness, justice, and equal opportunities for all to be mainstreamed in the system. That's ordinarily what you need. But we understand that in Nigeria, the elites have somehow monopolized power, prebendalism, identity politics, we know. But the question is, where has it taken us to as a country? This is a completely different conversation. The first part of our conversation was, okay, within the system we're operating yet, as elites, you need to align your candidacy and all with the norm. But what has happened to us? Has it really helped us as a country? The question is, at best, has simply held us together by way of, unity to some extent, at least at the elite level. But in reality, has it helped us? No. And that is why I have always suggested that, look, what we need is a new political party system that can simply internalize the principles of equity, fairness, and justice and equal opportunities, where Nigerians will be socialized to simply align their votes with the best at all times that can serve their individual and collective legitimate interests. So, for instance, if I have a choice to vote for somebody as a president, and I look at 3 of them that are contesting, and I, as a Muslim, for instance, I discovered that the one that is a Muslim among them has corruption baggage, is a thief. Why should I vote for him? Because I think he's a Muslim. I would rather vote for the Christian or even the atheist among them who simply has integrity. It's as simple as that. And I'm not trying to elect an imam now. I'm trying to elect somebody who will manage my resources. Until you socialize Nigerians that way, we're going to continuously be in this problem. So, but if you do this, a time will come that whatever the best emerges, even if it's from the southeast, south, wherever a person comes from, that will simply qualify him for the position. That's where we should be heading towards. It's my problem with this issue of rotation is this: it won't benefit anybody, including the constant peoples of those regions. And I'll tell you why. For the people of the southeast, one of the major zones in Nigeria that maybe has not tested presidency because of the ethno-geographic nature of that zone, is predominantly Igbo speaking. The identity is largely Igbo, right? Let me tell you one thing about Nigerian elite. Yeah, assuming this is in the constitution, and the constitution will be operated by this same people, this same set of people. Let me tell you what happened. If, for instance, it is the turn of the, let's say, the northwest to president, and the next was going to be southeast, the man from the northwest, knowing that he doesn't have second-term option, he will carry the second-term syndrome to that is first and single term, first and only term, and misrule. He has no reason to want to come back. So he's not going to come back to you to vote. He will misrule you, loot, misbehave as much as possible. When he's going, guess what? He go to the southeast and pick the most horrible among them. That is his cohort, the one that can come up for him, and re-give into power. So the one gets there and begins to satisfy the tendency that produced him or her. When he now the two is finishing from the southeast, and maybe it's going to the south-south. And this is where the problem starts from. South-south, unlike the southeast, is not homogeneous ethnic-wise. So the man starts to say, okay, since it is south-south and I'm an Igbo man, okay, let me go to Anyoma now. In Delta, they also speak Igbo like us. It's the time that you see most of the people that they are Igbo people. You push someone from that part of the country. Re-give into power as well. Now until you finish. Okay. It's not at all the North Central.
Dr. Majeed, you're only seeing only the worst case scenario.
This is what will happen. There's nothing that will happen other than what I'm telling you now. It's not that one of the North Central. You may not be aware of this. This is North Central, but it's the only region in Nigeria that has 3 major groups of Igbo, Yoruba, and Hausa as indigenous. There are indigenous Igbos in North Central.
If you're looking at the Kogi flank of it. Yeah.
Indigenous, so not that they came to self part in Lokoja. No. Indigene, Kogi and Benue. We have indigenous Yorubas in Kogi and Kwara. Right? We have indigenous Hausa people in Nasarawa, in Kogi, in parts of Kwara, and the Niger, North Central. And of course, Plateau. So if the Igbo man is coming to North Central now and is the sitting president, what if he also picks an Igbo man from Igalamela local government or Lamaboro, or picks from about the local government in Benue and forced him on us?
But we're always looking at it from perspective of the president who is leaving and handing over. That means Nigeria would not, even in the near future, be able to interrupt this either godfather influence or imposition influence in our politics.
That is precisely what I'm telling you. Now, this is on the Igbo side, though. So you discover that an Igbo man would have ruled Nigeria across how many geopolitical zones now in the name of regions. Now, come to the north. As many Northerner wants to do the same thing. So the Northerner lives northwest and wants to come to North Central. You think, come and pick an Ibira man like me? Or pick an Igala man? No, now. He'll pick his own now from Kogi, from Lokoja. And make him president. Now, you believe in, they say, okay, it's one of the northeast. You think you go to northeast and go and pick a Bachama man or pick a Jukun man? He will not now. He go down and also pick either a Hausa man or a Fulani man or a Hausa Fulani or both. And make him president. So if any presidents come to the north, it will always be among the ethnic majority of Hausa Fulani people across board. Now, North Central will be worse off. If it is a Boba that is handing over from Southwest, that needs to hand over to the North Central, he'll pick Boba from Kwara or Kogi. Then if you see Boba that is going to hand over to North Central, he'll pick Boba from Benue and Kogi. How does it benefit the Biraman from Okene now on all of this immigration? How is that supposed to be my business? Then why should I have presidency if I benefit from it? We should be talking about at this point how to put the hot.
So you're trickling it down to the ethnicity within this region as to the block of the region to saying it's just like the way when we're talking about
that this will put another chapter of division. This is what happened. Nothing other than
it reminds me of when we're talking about the new NNBC bus and we're like another northern and he says I'm a Kwara man. It's a North Central, but I'm Yoruba. So I don't know how you guys want to play your politics here, but this is who I am.
I am Yoruba Kwara.
So we're going to come and start with all of this now.
And this will only end, it will foster the culture of sharing of natural resources and not baking. Again, we go back to the issue of Southeast question. If you recall, this bill seems to be coming out from Southeast lawmakers who feel that until you make it geopolitical zone, the South is not president. No. The Southeast has supported every other region since 1999. Obasanjo between 1999 and 2007, even against Ojukwu in 2003. In 2007, the same thing happened. Ojukwu lost Southeast to Yaradua from the Northwest. In 2011, this is most interesting. Let me shock you today. When Yaradua died, the sitting chairman of PDP was Chief Vincent Dobulafo, an Igbo man from Southeast Nigeria, Abia specifically. Sitting party chairman. After Yaradua died and was buried, within a few days, he made an announcement openly that the ticket for the presidency of the party remains in the north. And no Southerner, including Jonathan, should vie for presidency of Nigeria. This is an Igbo man. Unfortunately, he didn't know Jonathan was interested, so he was removed from party chairman. But that was the end of the story. To punish him for that indiscretion. He brought another Southeasterner, the former governor of Enugu State, Okosileze Nwodo. No one kept quiet, kept his cool, and was working for Atiku, who was the Northern Consensus candidate. Quietly. Because to him, too, he's thought of the North. So why should we take it from them? Until it was called that this man working for Atiku, if you call this primary today, Atiku will know. Yeah, he has the magic formula he has already arranged. What did we see? They bought out a court order from somewhere that morning. Atiku Square was where they served the court order, so he was asked to step down. It was Bello Hariru Mohammed from Ikebi, his deputy, that conducted the proper election and that delivered Jonathan against Atiku. Now, in that same season, if you recall, Bangida contested. Bangida vied for that position. Saraki did. Ali Gusso did. And Atiku. The person was the DG campaign for Babangida from the south. Bangida is from the north. Ben Obi was the DG campaign for Atiku Abubakar, southeast. Udenta was the DG campaign for Ali Gusso. That is, a lot of Southeasterners supported all of the effort from the north to retain power because it was their turn. But somehow Jonathan emerged, no problem. So by 250, Jonathan said he wanted to vie again, not to be on the offside. Southeast leader said, no, let us support Jonathan from South. When they rejected Buhari in 2015 and Buhari punished Southeast, they doubled down and supported Atiku from the Northeast. So they have gone around the entire regions. That was why Smallford said the PDP ticket, without anybody talking about zoning.
Dr. Majeed has gone back to it again.
That the PDP ticket, nobody needs to tell you about zoning. Nobody needs to say it.
Dr. Majeed,
the Southeast should have been given that ticket. I don't know Southeast. God even sent somebody to them. That was a Buhari-like figure in the South, Peter Obi.
All right, Dr.
And
Majeed.
all the Atiku and others needed to do, the North, was to do for Peter Obi and the Southeast what Eberufai did for Asiwaju and the Southwest. By going to their mosques, going to their farms, going to their market to say, the Southeast people have been supporting us even since independence. You remember the NCNC alliance against Awolowo?
Dr. Majeed.
You remember that they have been supporting us. And so we need to also show them this time around that it is time to have them attain that position.
Dr. Majeed, you've made this clear.
The northern flank failed.
And the PDP failed to do that. And we are seeing the repercussion. In retrospect, I'm sure they're also saying it right now. And I did ask you a question, if it can be salvaged. You said it's too late in the day to do that.
This crime and this sin.
So perhaps at this point, you saying it is rubbing it in for the PDP. You already know they can't salvage it.
So we are saying that this question of rotational presidency may have been resolved if only Atiku and the northern flank of the PDP did what was right.
Perhaps because we'll always have people who will not do it right. That's why we need to legislate to make it very clear in our laws to say this is how it should work.
In principle, in terms of nation building and all that, I have made a background that the zoning between North and South didn't exactly favor anybody, North or South. When Jonathan was in power, how did all the jobs become millionaires of suddenly because of that? But he was in power for 8 years. Look how happened in the North. Not even Kaduna Abuja was able to fix. Tinubu has been in power for 2 years now. By May, it will be 2 years. Been power slug started from Lagos. It's Aleko.
Well, the thing is, it benefits the people in their party, in their sector, their cronies. Exactly, but not the greater mass.
If you want elite consensus or elite conspiracy to continue to divide and rule us, you can go ahead. But I'm not even what your party said, that do not really benefit the common man. But we're only saying that, as I've always backgrounded my conversation around this matter, that among thieves that should be honored. That is, those people that are allies, you've agreed to do North and South. Right? Why didn't you just stick to it?
Because there are no laws, not in their party constitution, not in the constitution of the country, to compel them to do that.
Joraku, don't have just illustrated to you how that same law can be undermined. Our constitution is one of the most beautiful in the country. It says don't steal. It's written there boldly. Why are you having a problem of corruption until tomorrow? Everything it says we shouldn't do is what we are doing. Our constitution even told us to allow local governments to have their funds. And we're not still having. Supreme Court has even ruled. Supreme Court has even ruled on that matter. It's not even been adhered. Supreme Court has not been adhered to that judgment. So I don't want to give you a clear opinion on how that matter would have been misused. Let me tell you, this same concern was the reason why states were created in Nigeria from the regions, right? But even Murtala admitted that the more states are created, the more cries of marginalization and division surfaces. So what we are saying in essence is we need to clean up this system going forward. So why I support an informal rotation of power, including sub-regional, for example, if it's come to the South. There's nothing wrong with the party to say the last time it came to the South, it was Southwest. This time it go to Southeast. That can be done. At some level of regional level. And it's going to be adhered to. But when you now put it in the Constitution and think it's going to result into anything good, no. These same guys have a way of undermining it.
All right.
You now start wondering, what use is this to you?
All right.
You don't have to test it to understand what.
No, but one would think if you've tried one approach and it's not working, you perhaps will want to try another and see if we can do it.
That's what I've said. Kill tribalism. Do you know why somebody wants to present in the Southeast or South or Southwest? Because somebody who did it from the North oppressed and marginalized the person to the extent that the person felt like he's a second-class citizen. We are saying that's what needs to be solved. If you solve that, for example, somebody in the North will willingly vote for somebody from the Southeast if the person ticks all the boxes of leadership. And it is a universal quality of leadership that we have. It's universal. So that you don't have to now use the person's ethnicity or religion to limit his aspiration because he comes from a particular place. We need to tackle that. So that at any point in time, the best will emerge. And the best will always emerge from everywhere. from time to time. Today can be from the north, tomorrow can be from the south, tomorrow can be from the middle of the country. So that's what we need to be. That's what we should be going to. So if you codify it on the law, the airlines will do it. And I'm not telling you the worst part. These airlines will not come together. After they do it for ethnic groups, they will now do it for their children. So if it is coming to Imo, it is the big man's son there that will make president. It's
so,
going to Lagos.
Dr. Majeed, you are telling me
Southwest.
no way out. Because
if
you're saying fix the system, and I'm thinking in my head, I've lived long enough in this country to know that the system will not magically fix itself. The people who are responsible for fixing the system are also complicit in the decay we're dealing with. And that's why we're saying, shouldn't we now legislate to compelling people to enacting a certain way?
That's what I'm advocating. You see, this one that you want to legislate, that will be the end of Nigeria.
Wow.
But there's a way out. You see, the brain box of a democracy is the political party system. Any Nigerian today, let me put this challenge out there. If you're a Nigerian today, if you're Igbo, if you're Hausa, whatever ethnicity you identify as, if you're a Muslim, if you're a Christian, whatever it is you are, and you desire a good Nigeria, please start coming together. And understand that there are only two tribes in Nigeria, essentially. The rich and privileged few, and the majority underprivileged, the underprivileged poor majority. Two. Now, for those of us that are on this side, let us come together. And now understand that our problems with each other is not your ethnicity. You see me, I preach oneness all the time, right? We essentially want people under the banner of suffering. So how do we take our country from these other guys?
All right.
Coalesce into a political party.
A new, altogether, spanking new political party.
That the basis will be based on equity, fairness, and justice to all. That will be based on economic interest groupings rather than ethnicity and religion.
And what's the guarantee they will not be infiltrated by the same actors?
That's why I said, no. They won't take you seriously because they think you are joking. When they didn't take obedient people serious until they shock the world. They won't think you are joking. But begin to, you see, you need thinkers to lead in this direction. When that comes, you live in I'm sure you live in I don't know if you live in a gated community like I do in Abuja. Mm-hmm. I've seen elections in gated communities where we all have equal stake. I'm a house owner, you're a house owner, you are a resident, I'm a resident, everybody. For example, where I live, I don't have interest in being chairman, treasurer, because it is also free work. It is free public service. We pay facility fee and everybody's eyes are on it. You can't even touch it. It's a thankless job. So, but people that will take out their time to do this are people that usually have that passion. You know, people have that passion. It is in them naturally to help serve. Without that, they cannot do anything. For instance, I used to live in a state where in the morning, my chairman, the man of my state, to come out and telling me, last night, I came out at about 2 a.m. I had my dog back in. So I came out, I went to the security gate, and I discovered that the security men were sleeping. I woke them up. I said, so you mean while I was sleeping and dozing, you had the energy and time to be coming out and be doing all of this? That is his passion. I wouldn't do it. It's not my passion. My own passion is, okay, for the good job he's doing, I will pay my fees regular, which is like taxation. Until you run a country in that fashion.
And we have these people.
We have them.
We have men. We have women. All it was
is organization. That is, we need to see a political party. I had thought that the obedience would have been morphed into that Labour Party and let it be that true departure. But with all of the crisis, we now need to start afresh. If you are willing, I call it coalition of the willing.
What's also the dimension of, there are a lot of people who have raised concern, and I remember when we talked about this rotational government to different regions, there are people who brought the issue of the umpire, because see, trust level in INEC is so low amongst Nigerians that they will tell you, see, the reason why we're not getting it is right, because the umpires are compromised.
The only thing that can make the umpire itself, and whatever sort of which it might want to do to fail, is the resilience of the people through mass people power. I've said it severally. And we saw it. We saw a glimpse of it in the last election. So people were inspired by a personality. We now need to be inspired by an idea, a group of ideas. You will not win Nigerian presidency in the first instance. You don't need to win it. Just win AMAC. Win one state. And demonstrate that Nigeria that is equitable, that is fair, that gives everybody a good opportunity. People will now learn to abandon that they hold to dearly because they don't have an alternative and gravitate towards you. The Republican Party in America was formed for one reason, mainly one reason, to put an end to slavery by white people who saw slavery as evil. They came and formed the party and campaigned on that basis. And now people say, okay, this makes a lot of sense, and they voted. We've seen other parties today in both the UK and America and other developed democracies that have mainstreamed inclusion to attract more membership. So you see black MPs in the UK, people of color taking, their pride of place. Our own sister Kimberly, for example, is the leader of the Conservative Party. You go to the Labour Party in the UK, the mayor of London is Mr. Sadiq Khan. He's been there for 3 times now. That is mainstreaming inclusion. Nobody said it's a thought of the Indian British people to be prime minister. Nobody said so. But I watched the emergence of Rishi Sunak. At first, his ideas looked too conservative to be real. So they voted for Liz Truss. But 45 days later, Liz Truss now copied from Rishi Sunak's playbook. Guess what the white people said? The white people there, majority white. They asked Liz Truss to say, if what you campaigned with is not working and you're not trying to change to Sunak's plan, Kuku leave the stage now, Kukuma leave him. Let Sunak come and do that, which you are trying to do. That was how people, so the people in Britain have been socialized enough to identify a man's capacity, irrespective of his Indian heritage, in the white-dominated country.
We would need some level of education to get to that level, because we're not there yet.
Party.
Dr. Majeed, we all know that the political parties that are still grappling with their internal issues cannot
My guess is that the problem with political parties in Nigeria, they don't even realize that this is their role. They don't even know. So we have suffered enough. And this is the solution to our problem. Look, I led a desk review at Savannah Center on national development. And my recommendation was, fix the political party system in Nigeria. That's all. Because it is the brain box. It's the one that will give life to the letters of the Constitution. It is the political party. If you look at India today,
but every party is looking at how it's going to clench power by every means necessary. Parties. So there need to be a birth of new political parties. India,
the BJP in India is a pro-Hindu party, a party that believes that India is Hindu, right? It is now reflecting in the character, in the conduct of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's government. That's how powerful a political party can be. So you see that the Muslims in India are complaining.
A party with ideology. Well defined.
So that ideology is condemned by those who hate them as racists. But it has an ideology at least. But you can see how it is affecting India. Now, when the party of the secularist party, the Congress Party of India is a secular party, was in power, we saw a different approach. India was more united. India was more egalitarian. There was no dominance of Hindu tendencies in India. Even the majority of members of the Congress Party are Hindus, but they are secular Hindus. So they believe in secularism. So Muslims didn't have to complain of exclusion or certain kind of laws that targeted at them, or law enforcement not carried out their duties in an impartial manner. That is the role of political party. Now, we don't have a country that is governed by political parties where you need to buy votes to be from delegates.
All right.
Pay this, pay that. And for them to take care of your public treasure. How can I take care of that?
Dr. Majeed is calling for a rise of a new political party. And I'm thinking it already feels like 2027 is here, because you can already feel it.
It's not about 2027.
The pulse of the election is already being felt.
It's not about 2027. Like I said, look, by now.
So just take it that 2027 is being captured already.
If Nigerians move
and build towards the future.
If Nigerians move very fast, maybe. But I'm just saying, look, win Amak. You know what I'm saying, Amak? Amak is Abuja. Abuja is an urban area. People listen to programs like this. People are struggling on any money. So an Abuja audience is interested in good governance in principle. But nobody has been able to organize Abuja people around the good governance ethos. So they vote against sitting governments most times as way of protest. Organize Abuja people to vote for just Amak chairman. And in the next 3 years, use that Amak to demonstrate good governance in line with what we've been advocating for here. Leave the rest to Nigerians.
Well, someone sent a message some time back and said Abuja might change their mind in 2027. I mean, they're getting fancy roads being built, so that might kind of like convince them. to vote for the state.
It's a democracy.
It's a democracy. We never can tell.
Yeah.
All right, let's look at some comment quickly. Zoning and Comrade Igbinio Dafe Emmanuel is listening, and he says zoning and rotation is just and constitutional. This will help address the crisis in Nigeria to a large extent until we mature. So, Comrade Engineer Igbini, he does not think we're mature just yet to just organically allow these things happen. It has to be legislated. Grace Mudupe Olabi Adeniji says, okay, I see you. I want to see Benjamin Chukuma. He's watching us from Cleveland, Ohio. Good to know. And Atiap, we see you also. Quite a number of comments on our YouTube. Godwin Sani says, it's always a delight to listen to Dr. Majeed. Thank you very much, Godwin Sani. Ebi Bomodi. All right, I see your comment also. David Felix says, I'm always enjoying listening to your guest. Gompil Solomon sends his greetings. Obiajulu Solomon. Anya. All right, no comment there. Awokpetu Lumide Temitayo. Diversity is an intrinsic part of who we are as a people. We can accommodate our diversity as to the metrics of power sharing while ensuring each region puts forth its best when it's their turn. And he says, good afternoon to Dr. Majeed. Went on also to say that there's no region in Nigeria that does not have capable people at every point in time. So what we can do is to ensure that the best gets to power along the line of our diversity. Rose City say, smart guy, brilliant fellow. Listening to this guy is a delight. I want to believe Dr. Majeed. I'm sending messages on WhatsApp. Okay, it will be read. Jesse Aldo, I greet you also. Shehu Musa says, good afternoon. One party and Nigeria are panicking. Can't we choose our own candidate and then vote for them? Obi and Natasha are good to go. All right. Yeah, you can't choose your candidate because independent candidacy is not allowed. I'm sure you know that already. Tom from Guarimpa says, great analysis. If all the governors, reps, senators, members of all our political bourgeois in PDP, Labour Party and the likes defect to the APC in order to shield their selfish political interests, corruption, stomach infrastructure and their business. But here is the thing. 2027 election is between President Tinubu and the vulnerable Nigerians. I say so because his policies have sunk a lot of lives and drained the economy, making it bleed profusely. The president kept giving Nigerians false hope. All right, Tom. But when you say against Nigerians, it depends on who the Nigerians will rally behind.
That is the point I'm making since morning. Look, as this is by next year, February, March, primaries will have to take place across political parties in line with another guideline, right? Mm-hmm. If by now there is no clear alternative, item by item, against what the president has done to bring us into this state of affairs. Even up till now, you still don't have an alternative. There is nobody saying anything different. Who are the people now, the man you're talking about, who are they going to vote for? So I'm saying there's a failure of political party system in Nigeria to even take advantage.
I was talking about it yesterday. Someone told me to calm down, that the parties are working on the ground. I'm like, all right, we'll see about that.
This one's.
Like, he seemed pretty confident that there's something going on.
Okay. Till then.
Exactly.
So what we're saying is a wake-up call to say, you can't just... Our democracy is not failing only because of the failure of leadership. Failure of opposition is the major.
All right. Victor Sanchez from Madela says, thank you, Dr. Majeed. Now, I fully understand what's happening to the PDP, and I also will never blame Wike for what he did to PDP last time. Article 2 is being overly ambitious. No Southerner should agree under any circumstance to be a single term. Should, in case PDP peradventure wins the presidency with a Southern candidate in 2027, every and each political party run your program exclusive of what's happening in other political parties, says TY. And I totally agree with your guest. Atiku's ambition seems to be ruining the PDP, and I don't think these people are ready to change. Oludade Abiodun. As for PDP, after Jonathan, the presidency ought to go to the north. You can't use APC zoning to say PDP ought to zone to the south. Ibrahim from Lokogoma. And what we need right now is the enthronement of meritocracy and not rotational presidency. I'm shocked that our legislators are still chasing shadows. God help us before we completely get lost. Dr. Alex from Gariki. And Diana, Burkina Faso head of state, has set a good example to ECOWAS leadership. You think democracy can work in Africa? Democracy is not for the blacks, says Simon in Kabusa. This one is throwing the entire baby with the bathwater. Atiku's presidential ambition always at the wrong time marks the beginning of the death of the PDP. He worsened it by using his deep pocket to secure his ticket each time. And except he drops this ambition and support a popular, more acceptable candidate from the South, no coalition will be able to unseat Tinubu in 2027. It should count it as a privilege to have served Nigeria as a vice president for 8 years and quit the race. Israel. But I bet if it was your uncle, you wouldn't be able to tell him that.
The coalition is in a fix as we speak. They're in a quandary. Yes.
What coalition? There's none.
No, those that we are. Atiku and Anifada about the coalition. They're in a fix. They got it wrong. It's like they suddenly broke while they were still trying to go out for a night operation. Look, people don't just listen. What alternatives are they offering? I've heard Atiku speak countless times. None of them has been able to say, for instance, subsidy is going to be reversed. As basic as that. I've not heard. I've not heard anybody say, okay, I'm going to unfloat the Naira. Because they all run on the same template. The best you hear that I would have sequenced what? So, even to settle down and draw a draft. Look at Donald Trump. How did Donald Trump win this election? Set of crazy ideas, some that are clearly unimplementable. But he was saying something out of return. Down to, I will change the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, as petty as that. He said something. I'll impose tariff, I'll do this. He was just talking. Immigration, they are eating our cat, all sorts of things. But these are tangible things you may agree or may not agree.
Well, a lot of Americans do not even agree with that. So
people became galvanized towards that thinking. And he won. I'm saying, and he came from the opposition angle twice to win election, twice. To take power from an incumbent, your idea must be outstanding, convincing. People must be able to see their prosperity in what you're saying. Matched by your integrity too. None of these people are able to sit down to marshal any point.
All right.
At all. So the Nigerians will not necessarily come out in large numbers if they don't say anybody that they think they can vote for. It will not allow the establishment to have their way. I don't want to say what is in my mind early enough.
Don't say it yet.
All right. Not to say it. Let me just keep quiet for now.
Let us go for the break. Dorcas is seated for the news. We'll take this one quickly and join her for the news at the top of the hour. The problem of PDP, that is, Atiku is getting all of the right. Okay. It won't let us rest like Buhari. In 2023, they kept saying Obi did not have structure. I never knew the structure was ballot snatchers and election manipulation. On rep rejection, this is why crisis reigns. Well, I pity the security personnel that always be sent on crisis management whenever it arises. OGB1 sent that one in. Time for the news. Let's listen.
This is Nigeria Info.